Western Esotericism Lesson 1. Let's start by defining what esotericism is, because it encompasses a diverse range of disciplines: alchemy, astrology, Kabbalah, Hermeticism, Theosophy, and other occult traditions. According to Walter J. Hanegraaff, in his book Western Esotericism, A Guide for the Perplexed, the term esotericism can be seen as a category that is used to describe ideas, practices that have historically been marginalized or excluded from the mainstream religion and science. This idea often emphasizes a direct and experimental approach to understanding hidden truths about the cosmos, the self, and the divine. We also have the author, Gary Lachman, in The Secret Teachings of the Western World, where he highlights that esotericism often seeks to uncover secret knowledge that leads to personal transformation and spiritual awakening. This pursuit of the hidden truth is frequently encoded in symbolic systems, require an interpretation and an inner exploration. While we also have Kocku von Stuckrad in his book Western Esotericism that defines it as the search for an absolute but hidden truth, hidden knowledge that is accessed through mystical vision, the meditation of higher beings, or personal experience. To understand a little more, I also want to say that esoteric knowledge is seen as the information, teaching, or wisdom that is hidden, secret, or reserved for a select group of people who are either deemed to be prepared or are initiated in order to be able to understand it. Etymologically, the term esoteric originates from the Greek word esoterikos, meaning inner or within, which is the contrast of exoteric, which refers to knowledge that is publicly accessible, understood by the general population, and of course, from outside. So, with all this, I think we can agree that the main part is that is knowledge that is coming from within, because it's coming from experience. It can come from meditation, but again, you have to experience this knowledge. Even if you learn something from the outside, the final knowing is more than just an intellectual knowing, it's a gnosis. Although very similar to religion and philosophy, Western esotericism is actually in a liminal space because it overlaps different aspects of this esotericism versus religion. Religious tradition typically involve organized systems of belief, dogma, worship, and is a communal practice. Esotericism, by contrast, actually emphasizes the individual experience and gnosis, a direct knowledge of spiritual truth, not a truth that is given to us, but one that we experience ourselves. While many esoteric traditions draw from religious sources, they reinterpret this tradition to uncover more dimensions, hidden meanings, and they use all kinds of principles so they can experience this tradition, experience the knowledge themselves and not just intellectual knowing. Let's take as an example Christian mysticism and Kabbalah, which both draw heavily on the religious text, but they approach them more allegorically. They use a lot of symbolic interpretation, and the aim is for a connection with the divine rather than an institutionalized worship. Gauder J. Hanegraaff in Hermes in the Academy argues that esotericism can also be seen as what is rejected knowledge because it's deemed heretical, is unorthodox by the mainstream religious authorities. Although it has some weight into it, I believe that not all esoteric knowledge is deemed heretical or is right away rejected, be it the populace or the religious authority. As I said in the beginning, it very well is in a liminal space. If we compare esotericism versus philosophy, let's see, philosophy seeks to understand fundamental questions about existence, ethics through rational discourse, and more of a logical analysis. Well, it's true that esotericism also engages with existential questions, very profound and deep. It also employs symbolic, intuitive, and experimental methods rather than solely relying on thought and reason or logic. Let's see Hermeticism, which combines philosophy principles with mystical practices, asserting that humans can achieve and spiritually ascend to a divine understanding through inner alchemy. Even though it has an aspect of philosophical principles, it is not purely just philosophical. Colin Wilson in The Occult, A History, critiques the tendency to dismiss esotericism as unscientific, irrational, arguing instead that it offers an alternative approach to wisdom that complements rather than contradicting philosophy. We also have science. Science is only rooted in empirical observation, experimentation, and is aimed to understand and explain natural phenomena through objective methods. Esotericism can incorporate scientific concepts like alchemical practices that it anticipated the modern chemistry, is more focused in metaphysical reality that transcends the empirical verification. We see alchemy that has both a proto science and also a spiritual theme. It aims to transmute base metals into gold while also using this as an analogy for spiritual transformation. Gary Lachman emphasizes that esotericism is not opposed to science, but it just offers an alternative lens to help in interpreting the mysteries of existence, and one that integrates subjective experience and metaphysical speculation to the experimentation and the empirical observation that we see in science. So, the final takeaways that I want to share with you about what is the Western esotericism is that it's a rich tradition that explore hidden spiritual metaphysical truth, most often through symbolism and also experimental methods. It differs from religion because it prioritizes individual gnosis over communal worship. It differs from philosophy because it values intuition alongside reason and not only reason. And it differs from science by embracing metaphysical and intuitive interpretations. If you think you will enjoy this series, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe for more videos.